Welcome back to another episode of the Broke Boys. I'm Martin,
I'm Kat.
and we have my little brother back again for another wonderful episode.
Yeah.
I'm here again. What's your name?
Alberto.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Wait, hold on, say it again.
Alberto. Okay.
All right, ready?
It's good.
You need to get that sound effect with the novelas, or it's just like
The which one?
what was it? With like doves flying.
No, we should. That'd be funny. Or the dun dun dun. You get that. No, seriously. Dang. We'll work on that.
Yeah. So Beto had asked me this question. What was the question that you asked me, Beto?
Why don't you like going to El Salvador anymore?
I just don't like it. I think you got to experience. Well, my little brother has been in El Salvador like 3 times.
3 times. Mm-hmm.
And he's gone recently with my mom and family, and he's gotten to explore and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's safer than when it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2009, that was when we all went. It was like a family,
Yeah.
just all of us, and it was like I have like a little like memory of it,
Mm-hmm.
but they're very faint. We didn't go outside of the rancho as much, huh?
No, we weren't allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
Just what
And
was it?
It was just super dangerous.
Like the games
Yeah.
and stuff, yeah.
Because it was mostly the gangs and like the crime rate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all like high
It was
during that time.
extremely high.
And then my
And-
mom.
I remember too getting harassed by a bunch of the kids, the town kids,
Mm-hmm.
just because it was very different than how it was in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
In Mexico, if you're from what they call it, Norte,
Mm-hmm.
from here, they're very intrigued, like, oh, how is it?
Mm-hmm.
Like in Mexico, they do like, oh, like, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And in El Salvador, from what I remember, it was very much of like, you think you're better than us, like, you know, like, and very, they look at you and they're like, oh, you're very odd to them because they're,
Well, they think that you feel entitled,
yeah, and it's just like,
I would assume. I don't know.
I don't know, but you, from what I remember, I just felt so,
Harassed.
not only
Doesn't like me about it.
not only harassed, but like so out of place.
Out of place.
Yeah, and like I was a kid just trying to fit in with my cousins.
Well, and then how long did you stay that trip?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, yeah, that's
like,
mostly
3.
our like trip. Yeah, just mostly like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Especially if it's like in Mexico or wherever like we go, it's usually like maximum of like 2 weeks.
yeah, so it was 2 weeks that we were there, and I don't fully remember everything,
Mm-hmm.
like just because it was so
You
long
were
ago.
younger, yeah.
But I do remember the feeling, and the feeling was very negative, very hostile. I didn't like it,
Mm-hmm.
and nor did I feel comfortable, and I'll never feel comfortable again.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Beto experienced a lot of the positives.
Well, it's
Since the crime rate like dropped,
Mhm.
since with the new
Yeah.
president and everything,
Mhm.
how just making
And like
it,
there was
safer.
more, they have more room to adventure out. Back then, there was no adventuring out,
yeah.
none of that. Like,
Yeah.
So what were you able to see when you were there this last time?
There. This last time, feel a lot more safer.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, it felt kind of like the same as Mexico, but
Mhm.
you would see it as a little bit more like
Like they're developing still.
they're more developed. Yeah,
They're less developed, right? They're still developing.
they're still developed. They're not as like no, it's
but
true because
They're just like their work ethic is different.
their work, yeah, because there's like a lot of people who are like fixing the roads over there in like our little like or my mom's pueblo.
Mm-hmm.
You would see them like working like maybe like 10 minutes or so, and then they just sit down and like take like a
Take a
whole
break.
like 50 minutes to break, or like
Dang.
mostly, like an hour, and like they can't even like they're not as like motivated,
Yeah.
but just now, like probably yesterday, my mom showed me like a video of how like they finally put like pavement on the road.
Oh, that's
Since
cool.
it was like all like dirt.
Yeah.
So now they're finally doing something.
Yeah.
It's just to
together.
They're finally into its own development.
Yeah.
Trying to get there. Which
finally,
I mean, now it should be time for them. Just because like back and then, even recently, the only way that a lot of the cousins that would say too, like the only way to really make money out there or to have a decent living was to work under the order of organized crime. The gangs would have control of most of the territory, so they would be the ones that would be like, well, we'll pay you this much and
to do X, Y, and Z.
You know?
Yeah.
The side of the government.
Well, I think all this is changing because they got a new president, right? She kind of...
Yeah,
is it a he or she?
He
is like all into it, right? Like,
he's always been about it.
Yeah.
Well, he's new, right?
That was his whole campaign.
Oh, I think it's his second term.
Second term?
Yeah.
That was his whole campaign during the president.
I think I remember very faintly your mom like talking about it.
Just because like there's been other presidents that promised the same thing.
It's a lot of.
Well, I'm sure it's harder than it sounds to like wrangle up all these.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, the way that he did is just like, no, I ordered my strongest military personnels and
just
they cracked down
all up. Yeah,
and they cracked down.
That's crazy.
So even and I don't know if like you would hope that there is no, errors with some of the things that they did, but even if you were associated or somehow linked to them, no questions asked, you got rounded up anyway.
I mean, which was for the betterment because you guys said that it was really dangerous before.
Yeah.
So I always hear that it's hot over there.
Humid.
Like, explain to me how hot.
You can shower. Well, over there, the showers are different from where our family's from. I've always said that El Salvador's almost like third world. So the shower literally is you get a bucket and a smaller bucket, and you're using that just to
shower. Is it still like that, Beto?
In our tia's house, there's like a huge like a tub, like a stone,
like a
tub, and then they have fish in there.
Yeah.
So that way they can
clean the water.
Clean the water because it's like
interesting.
It filtered.
It keeps it filtered. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
efficient. I'd be scared as fuck though to put my hand in that bucket.
Space.
Sometimes you get the fish on accident and you toss it on your head.
Oh hell no.
That's why I always imagine Jerry. It's like, oh shit.
Jerry's probably aiming for the fish, honestly.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, but you're literally just like in a small little enclosed chamber that you have.
Well, yeah.
And then you're just dumping yourself with water. But then as soon as you're done and you walk out, you're already fucking dry with all that humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember too, like if you wanted to lay down in the maca that they would have and hammock.
Beto's hella laughing right now.
Because I always like I slept in like macas. That's like the only.
You had to get just a bucket of water and just like spill it underneath the hammock, the maca, so that way there's some cool air flowing up.
Oh, I got it.
And like how in our tia's house, there's like hella chickens. Because they use them to like
they eat them.
Yeah.
And then like
they raise the chicken for slaughter.
Yeah.
Hey,
and then you would go to like take a shit or something. And then
there's just a chicken looking at you.
You see the chicken like next to it, next to like the little
taking a shit with
pot. The hole because it's not like it's not toilets. It's like
it's just like a hole.
It's a pit. It's a pit.
Yeah.
And there's just a chicken chilling right there.
It's just a chicken sitting right there, and then Jerry's like all like scared because he's all like, I don't wanna sit in there. And then my mom's has to like encourage him.
Yeah.
And then I think it was
my fear was always like, what if I fall in? Who's gonna get me?
If you fall in, you're just gone.
Yeah.
Imagine having to shower after that.
No, I'm telling you, look at like if you were to see it, it's literally just like
no, I have an imagination.
Yeah.
It's like think like, of
sorry, I don't know what
think of the movie Shrek. You know how they have the little
Shrek
thing?
Yeah.
The little
outhouse.
Think of the little outhouse, right? You open the outhouse, there's the toilet seat. Just the seat.
Yeah.
and it's
like,
and it's on this cement circle, and
it's
So you have a seat to sit on.
yeah, kind of. It's
That's
it's
what you
just
said.
it's just a stone.
It's a stone,
Okay.
and it's just this pit that you can't see at the bottom.
So
Maybe like 12 feet or like more.
I have a question. What happens when the pit's full?
Full. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Like, whose job is that? Do they just cover that toilet? It's out of
As
duty.
far as I know, I've never
I
seen.
don't- yeah.
I
Or does it like disintegrate into the ground and you're like chilling?
I might, yeah.
Interesting.
But it's just a straight deep.
Well, yeah, I believe it.
So if
but,
you drop anything, you're fucked. Like
Yeah.
bro, I wouldn't want to reach in and get it. You're
you're not
goner.
gonna be able to reach
Yeah,
in.
not gonna be able.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Interesting concept here.
Yeah.
You learned something.
but that's in the rancho, right?
In the rancho.
On the pueblo.
If it's like
Because I obviously when you hit the cities and you hit
the city, it's
Thank
just
God.
like a
hotel.
regular
You have
toilet, right?
regular, yeah. You'll have a regular
plumbing?
toilet.
you'll have
Like a sink,
Faucets.
faucets. You'll have cold and hot water.
Yeah. Well, assuming it's like central plumbing in like the hotels and stuff.
Yeah, just like inside like the city in general. But like if it's like in like the rancho,
Mhm.
obviously you're gonna have to.
You're gonna thug it out.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to.
All right. Interesting.
yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know about that part.
Okay. In Mexico, like, what was your experience?
What do you mean experience in Mexico?
Like, since like you haven't been there since like the last time we all went.
Well, he went with your dad. Like,
yeah, but like
2 or 3 years ago.
before that,
Oh yeah, then it's been a while.
it's been like what, like
What do you mean?
The last time you went to Mexico was when your grandpa passed away,
yeah, huh?
and then the time after that was when you and your dad just went. This most recent time,
And
Yeah.
my tío and my grandma.
and yeah,
Well,
and Juan and
I went. What is it? 4 years ago now? No,
I
three.
want to say it was like 3 years. Yeah,
I went 3 years ago
yeah.
to Mexico, and that was the trip that it was me, my dad, and my uncle, and
Your
my grandma. And I can tell you guys about this story, but man, oh man, Jesus Christ!
You've heard this story, yeah?
A little bit, yeah.
This trip was just next level.
And for like a lot of people who don't know, our father, he has a very short temper with
With everything.
everything.
And then he gets
he's,
like
like,
very nervous traveling,
very
right?
nervous.
The thing is with my dad is like he is or with our dad. Sorry, it's the Mexican thing.
a Mexican thing.
My bad.
Everyone knows you guys have the same daddy.
Fuck. The thing is with our dad is that my dad folds under pressure.
Yeah,
Like he's
And he's also like a rule follower.
yes.
he is.
So and for me and for many of you guys that know me, I'm very much I
Let's just
thrive.
get it done.
I thrive under pressure. I thrive under challenges. Like I'm like, let's fucking go.
Mhm.
Like I embrace that shit. I love it. So yeah, my dad's the complete opposite. So
So
we-
like certain situations, and
yeah, so this is one. I think this was straight out the gate. We get to the airport because we're like, okay, let's go. And we gotta get our luggage in, checked in, and then we gotta go through TSA and get checked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think right off the gate, my uncle's running late. And we were all supposed to meet at a certain time.
Yeah.
And mind you, everyone always has to meet up like 6 hours before the flight.
And who has your grandma at this point?
We do.
Okay.
We have our grandma with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because my uncle at the time was living like all the way in Fireball.
Yeah.
So we were like, no, let's have everything ready. We're ready to go. We're ready to fucking just take off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time my dad's kind of like scolding my grandma, like, you can't bring nothing back. You can't do nothing. Like, you have to be by my side. Like,
Mhm.
and my grandma's the whole time, she's just like, we're not even going to make it. Like, and we were like, Grandma, what are you talking about? And she was talking about that she's not going to make it, that she's going to die.
Oh,
And that she was being dramatic.
Yeah.
And we were just like, no, don't say that. She was like, I'm going over there to give everything away and like hand it to everybody.
Uh-huh.
She was like, I made it out the hood, like type of shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I respect that, Grandma. Keep it G. Keep it 100. You feel me? We get to checked in into TSA, right?
Mhm.
My uncle's barely showing up. And we're like, dude, you got to go get checked in. You got to go send your luggage in, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we have our carry-ons. I have my backpack.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, like I have my essentials in my backpack, charger, laptop, whatever, right? Obviously, it tells you can't bring no cream, you can't bring no toothpaste, no toothbrush,
any liquids,
any type of liquids.
Yeah.
You can't bring nothing.
And my Theo
had everything. Shampoo.
Yeah.
Then he
had his cologne too.
He had
Didn't you used to give it to your mom?
Yeah, give it to us. Yeah, and I used that for like the entire 2 weeks, and I'm like, oh hell yeah.
He bought this new Gucci fucking cologne.
I know.
He was like, these bastards are trying to take my Gucci cologne. And I was just like, Uncle, they told you not to fucking.
Well, and then it was his first time back, right? And like how many years?
23 years.
Yeah, he got in citizenship, so he wanted to go and kind of stunt that he got a citizen.
Yeah, hell yeah. So he was like going for the cause of like, oh, I'm gonna go and wreak havoc, have fun. My dad, on the other hand, was gonna go,
handle
business.
Yeah, he's always like, my dad's always like,
So he has a whole family business out there. So then we're going out there to
handle business.
So that was my intention of like, okay, that's what we got. My uncle, obviously, on the other hand, he's ready to wild out.
He's trying to party hardy.
Exactly. And then my grandma's there, just ready to, I guess, pass away on us. So we're just like, oh my God. And my dad's stressed out because he's just like, oh my God, dude, like, I told you to show up early and you couldn't bring all these things. Why didn't you think of this beforehand? And then he's like, hey, brother, relax.
Brother.
Like, relax. Like, hermano, ya, cálmate.
Who's older, your dad or Juan?
My dad.
My dad.
Okay.
Juan is the baby of the family.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew this. Okay, yeah, I knew this.
So I'm there just laughing. And I'm like, bro, I can't fucking believe it that I'm going with these fuckers. Like, it's just a shit show. Like, and all I'm doing is they're just like, all right, let's fucking
get it going.
Let's get it going. My grandma picks the worst time to need to use the restroom. Like, we're barely like about to sit down and we're like, okay, cool. Like, we're checked into the plane already. And we're like, all right, cool. Like, we're gonna chill. And my grandma's like, I need to use the restroom. I'm telling my dad. And then my uncle's just like, well, take her. And my dad's just like, where am I supposed to ask? Who am I supposed to ask? And I'm like, Dad, there's a bunch of, you ask. I was like, what the fuck? And then my uncle's just like, oh, you guys make it so complicated. My uncle gets up and he's like, excuse me. And they don't acknowledge my uncle. And my uncle
Who is this? On the plane or right before?
We're on the plane. No,
it's the like flight attendant.
It's flight attendants.
Okay.
But again, everyone's barely boarding on.
Yeah.
So like the flight attendants are in the very front.
They got their own thing going.
And I was just like, oh my God, bro. And my grandma's just like there, like, I need to use the restroom. I need to use the restroom. And then my dad scolds her. You're like a fucking child. Why don't you use the restroom beforehand? And like, I'm like, bro, my poor grandma is getting scolded by him. And at the time, the mask mandate was required. So everybody had to wear the mask, even if you were on the plane. And it was hard to breathe. There was moments that I tried to like, I needed to get some breath because if not, you just felt like you were just choking.
Suffocating.
Yeah. When you're flying in the air. At the time right now, no. So finally, we're able to get a flight attendant and she's able to use the facility. Then we sit down and, I mean, it was a wild roller coaster full of emotions. We land in Guadalajara in Mexico, and the thing is for us is we're so far. Our rancho where my dad is from is so far away that there's the nearest airport is either Guadalajara or Colima. Both are 3 hours away from the rancho. So I mean, pick your poison.
Yeah.
Really. So we always have to take a bus. So from the main city all the way back to the motherland. We take a bus, and my dad's stressed out because he's just like, why didn't you print out the bus tickets? Why didn't you have any of this information? We're getting ready to talk to the person, and the person is saying, hey, make sure you have everything downloaded on your app, and make sure you have these paperworks to validate all this other stuff. Right. And I'm like, oh, fuck. My dad did not have any of this prepared.
So what happened?
So then we're going there and we're like, okay. And then we asked, like, this is what we got. They were like, okay, not tripping.
Yeah.
We're like, you're fine. your bus is going to show up at this exact time. Be sure to be waiting for it, whatever. So we're like, okay, cool. We got enough time to eat breakfast. Now, when we got there, it was like 5:30 a.m. So we were like, fuck, what's open? And luckily, where the bus transportation's at, they have a breakfast shop right next to it.
Yeah,
that's open.
Yeah, they're not dumb. They're trying.
And I'm looking at the menu, and I'm like, nothing really rings my vibe. Like I'm just like, nah, I'm not in the mood for that. Nah. My uncle's like infatuated. He's already like in the corners taking pictures, taking selfies, doing the little Snapchat, staying while how that way is, like pull up type of shit. Wow. and it's just like, oh, okay, whatever. So then my dad's just like, what do you want? What do you want to eat? And I'm like, I don't want to eat anything. Why are you not?
You're missing a part of this, right? Isn't it? How long is your bus ride?
Your bus ride is usually like 4 hours.
And I heard that there are no restrooms on this bus ride, right?
Well, for us, there was.
Yeah, on the charter bus, there is. There is a restroom.
I heard that you didn't want to eat because you didn't want to have to use the restroom on the bus.
Exactly my point. I didn't want to eat because I didn't want to use the restroom. One, you don't want to go in there knowing that you traveled into, out of the States. You'd never want to eat a full-blown meal. You want to ease your stomach into it.
Yeah.
Like your body's not used to the food out there. Your stomach isn't used to it. So you never want to just fucking, all right, grub this whole thing. Let alone
I fucked up.
I got food poisoning one time. Never again, bro. Never again.
I haven't been back to Mexico since like 13 years from that split. From the moment when we buried our grandpa to that point. So I was like, you know what? I already
take it easy.
I already know the game plan in my head. So whatever they order, so I told my dad, I was like, just order me whatever. Like, well, I'm just gonna order you this, and it was like beans, rice, and like a sunny side egg. And I was like, that's fine. Like I didn't care. Like, yeah. It was gonna be something light, anyways, right? My grandma orders a whole meal. My uncle does too, and so does my dad. I'm not gonna eat. I'm not gonna eat this. I'm only gonna eat half.
Yeah. And
they kill their plates. They're like, they're hungry. Of course, long flight. I get it. Hey, do your thing. But I was already in my head like, nah, I'm not trying to get food poisoning. I'm not trying to OD myself right now. Like, I'm trying to take my time and ease into this whole thing. Fucking, as soon as like we get to the bus station, we get collected. All right, cool. We get into the bus. I had already bought pills for what's it called? Motion sickness. There you go. I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat something and then take this pill. And I finished it, and I took the pill as soon as I was done eating my half of the plate. And my uncle was kind of like, why are you doing that? Like, you can't handle curves. You can't handle back in the day, And I was like, motherfucker, shut up, bro. And so, anyways, man. We get into the bus. I love this. I love that we kept telling them like, hey, like my grandma is very, very much like, can't be going up the stairs, can't be doing none of that because it was going to be a second floor charter bus.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, no, don't worry about it. We'll put you in the first bottom row with the handicap section. And make sure that you guys are well taken care of. There's its own restroom down there.
Yeah.
And you guys have your guys' own screens for TV, all this other stuff. Okay, cool.
Damn, you guys had it lucky.
Yeah. So
that's a bougie.
So we had it up there, and I had to take my grandma down the stairs, and it was on our way back, and I was like, fuck.
Like I can't do this.
Yeah, nah. Fuck. So, anyways, I strap myself in. I have my bag ready. I put on my earphones, and I'm like, all right, bro, I'm just gonna knock out because this is gonna be 6 hours. We just got off of a 5-hour flight, so
hey, I'm trying to chill.
I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna kick back. And I tell my dad, hey, lights out. I'm sitting by myself. No one's next to me. I'm like, no one's gonna sit next to me either. So like, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
My dad is on one side, on the left side by himself. And then because the whole thing was just like, well, I took care of my mom. I took care of mom from the flight, from the home to the flight here. Now you got to take care of her
your turn.
in the bus. And my uncle was just like, yeah, no worries. Like, I got it, right? And then she sits down, he straps her in and everything. And then he sits down, he straps himself in, and he's just like, all right, cool. He's ready to chill. My grandma looks at him, she was just like, mija, necesito usar el baño. Bro, my uncle scolds her. Eres como una pinche niña. ¿Por qué no vas antes? And I'm like, bro.
She just got to pee for
No, she didn't have to. She had to unload, big dog. She had to unload because they ate the plates. And obviously goes in the restroom. She handles business. You feel me? She comes back out. She's like a champ, big dog. She fucking sits down. She's like, all right, cool. She's chilling. And my uncle starts grabbing his stomach after like 30 minutes that we're in this drive. And he's just like, dog, I gotta use the restroom. But somebody else was already in there. And I was just like, oh, man. And it kind of low-key sucked because like my seat was next to the restroom.
So you were just getting all of that.
And I was just like,
You're like, something smells gross over here.
But I was like, the only way you smelt it is somebody opened the door. Right? But
the way I'd be like, it's not working anymore. It's out of commission. It's not flushing.
Bro, I felt so bad. My uncle was just like, dude, I gotta go. So he goes in there. He's in there for like a whole 45
No
minutes.
way. He's gripping the wall.
He's gripping the shot pad. He has the seatbelt on in that fucking toilet, bro.
No.
But man, he comes out and he's just like
all sweaty.
all like, fuck, my stomach is not agree. And I looked at him, I was like, it's because you ate all that food, bro. I was like, I told you shouldn't eat all that food. And then I'm like, man, fuck it, whatever, bro. I'm like, I'm sick of this shit. So I pass out. I pass out for the remaining time of the bus, and we continue the adventure. Man, we finally get to the main city that we're gonna get picked up at. My cousins are waiting for us. They're excited. I'm excited because I haven't seen them in like 13 years. They're excited because they haven't seen all of us in quite some time.
Yeah.
We get to Barra de Navidad, which is the closest city to the rancho. It's still only an hour away. My uncle's just like, hey, I'm hungry. After that whole trip, he's like, hey, I'm hungry. Like, what's there to eat? Like, I'm back in my hometown. What's up? And my cousin is just like, well, what you in the mood for? Like, we got this spot over here. We got this other spot over here. We got some fresh mariscos over here. And then my dad's just like, oh, well, the options are endless. Like, let's just go wherever you like to go. And then he was just like, oh, let's go over here to the mariscos because they have this good-ass michelada and they have good food, fresh seafood. And that's what my dad loves. My dad loves the seafood out there. I can't complain about it either. I'm not a huge fan of seafood, but I fucked up a whole bowl of fucking ceviche. That's all I'll be honest. We get to the restaurant, we get seated. My uncle's getting complimented left and right by like certain people, and he thinks like, oh yeah, they all want me, you know?
Oh my God.
And it's just like, bro, relax, bro. And then I'm looking at the menu and then I'm like, oh yeah, they got ceviche. They got fucking ceviche. That's all I need. I didn't even bother.
He's like, let's go.
That's all I fucking need. And now it's just like, you know what? I already prepped my stomach beforehand. So like that half meal, and my body's already adjusted to the food.
And if it wasn't, then it's gonna be.
So like now I'm like, all right, it's free game now. So then I'm like, okay, what's the size for the ceviche? And she was like, oh, it's like 4 tostadas. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, and my dad was like, the 4 tostadas is good, right? I was like, I don't know though. I was like, I don't know if I feel like that though. I'm like, 4, like, it's cutting a little short. And she was just like, oh, we have a big one for everyone to share. Yeah, let's do that big one. And I was like, how big is it? And she was like, oh, it's like this big. And I was like, oh, that's pretty small. Like thinking about it, I was like, portions is completely different over there. So I was like, oh, that's pretty small, but I'll fuck it up. And that's enough for like 6 tostadas. You know, that's what I was thinking. Fucking platonón. fucking filled with seeds. And I was just like, I'm in fucking heaven. I was like, this is all me. This is all me.
How many tostadas was it?
I don't know. I was just eating. I was just grubbing. But everybody was just like, hey, ¿te vas a chingar todo eso? I was like, hell yeah. I was like, anybody want
what
some?
about it?
I was like, y'all want some? My grandma was just like, oh, that looks good. Obviously, it's a platter to share, so they brought little plates. And I served her in her little plate, and I gave it to her, and then I gave some to my cousins, and I was like, anybody want,
You said, I'm about to fuck this up.
y'all better claim something right now. And I'm just about to fuck it up myself. They were like, no, well, say less. Fucking, they have Valentin. I put a little bit of habanero sauce, hot sauce that they got. And I was like, all right, bro, I'm going ham. It's all me.
It's bon appetit.
It's all me. And I killed that shit. I was like, bro, love
good
that
on
shit.
you.
Hell yeah. And then we went, just so much nostalgia going back to the rancho. And it was just, holy shit. Like, we haven't been there in so long. I can go on and on about the story, but I'll kind of skip through it. Just because after that, it was just like little patches of drama, little, fun adventures, you name it. When I
was like, what the, how do you lose that, bro?
One night, me and my dad were just like reminiscing about the old times. And because we haven't seen my grandpa's house in so long, and everything's gone. Everything's been missing. A lot of stuff were taken. So we're there just reminiscing and just having this little moment of like, wow, like, I remember when this happened, when this was, just thinking about the old times. And he's just like, yeah. And we're like, all right, bro, like, let's just go. And because we were staying the nights at my uncle's house, because he has a house built out there. So we were spending the nights out there instead of my grandpa's, because my grandpa, you can't really live on it. There's no beds. There's nothing. So anyways, we're walking back, and my uncle is having the time of his life getting fucked up with I don't know who. And they're just having fun drinking and having a good time. And it's just like, okay, cool. Like,
oh, yeah, because they're really well known over there.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, like, we're just like, okay, like, I'm about to crash. I'm about to go to bed. And the next morning, my cousin comes and he's just like, hey, like, where's my car? and we're like, well, what do you mean? He's like, oh, I thought you guys took my car, to run errands or something.
Skirt.
And I was like, well, I'm sorry. I don't even know. And he was just like, man, that's weird. He's like, are you going to go to grandma's for breakfast? And I was like, yeah, my grandma's like already making. She was like, yeah, I dropped her off hella early in the morning. Like, I walked her to the house. I was like, all right, bro, we're going to go over there.
Yeah.
We go over there and we're like, cool, we're going to have breakfast and we're going to chill. And my grandma's fucking cooking it up. We get there and it's just like old times, like all over again in her little kitchen. And my uncle shows up in my cousin's car. And it was just like the funniest shit ever. And he's like, you guys are not going to believe it. I was like, what happened? He's like, I think I lost my passport. I was like, what are you talking about? You lost your passport?
Like the only thing
that you got for documentation to go back into the States, bro. How the fuck did you lose your passport?
Issued passport.
And he's just like, yeah, I think, I don't know what happened to it.
And he was tripping or not tripping?
I'm assuming he was tripping because he took my cousin's car. And we were like, how the fuck would you lose it? Like, you're in charge of your own shit.
Yeah.
That's the one thing, like, again, like I said, there was a lot of drama. So one day my dad got fed up and he was just like, your luggage, your stuff, your problem. And then my dad was just like, my stuff, my luggage, my problems. But then he went and he said, hey, Martin, hold all the passports, hold all this, hold all that. So then I'm in charge of his luggage, his passport, and his baggages. So I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, there's no way that we left you the responsibility of taking care of your own shit. And you're coming back and you're telling us that you don't know what the fuck it's at. And he's just confused. He's baffled. He's just like, I don't even know. Someone I'm not sure entirely who DMs him on Facebook that they have his passport and everything. It was his wallet too?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I wasn't there.
I just
had
pulled
everything.
the passport.
And then my uncle's just like, I don't know who this guy is or who he thinks he is, but I already know I'm gonna get extorted. I'm gonna get kidnapped. And my dad's just like, don't worry, we're gonna figure this out. And they plan a whole meetup of like just to go see, like just to go get the stuff back, reclaim his shit back.
Yeah.
And we're just like, dude, I already know the bullshit. This dude's gonna be like, hey, I need $500 cash, before I can release this to you, type of shit. Luckily, thank God that it was a good Samaritan and it was just like, hey, like I found this, you left it at so and so, and I just needed to return it back to you. And my uncle was like, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. But after that point, my dad was just like, give me your fucking passport. And my uncle,
pass it over.
My uncle was just like, you're probably way more responsible with it than I am. And my dad was just like, here, hold it, and gave it to me. And he was just like, put it in your backpack. My backpack had everything, important documents.
And I bet you never put it down.
I never put it down. That bitch went everywhere with me. So, yeah. Anyways, leading up to that whole trip, there's numerous fucking events. The last one that I will talk about is when we come back. We finally fly back into the States, and after an exhausting trip, we're like tired. We're already beat up. We're like, oh, we're done. We're done with today. Mind you, in the beginning of the story, I said that my dad had already had to talk with my grandma of not bringing anything back in. You're not allowed to bring anything at all from Mexico back into the States. And I told my dad, before we left, make sure you check that my grandma didn't pack anything.
Because she's known for that, right?
She's known to just smuggle shit in.
Or tries to smuggle shit.
Tries to smuggle shit in. I don't give a fuck, but I told my dad, double check, triple check, whatever you got to do, but check and make sure. I tell my uncle the same thing. Both of these motherfuckers, yeah, I checked everything. Everything's all good. We're all good. There's nothing in there.
Something tells me that it was not all good.
So I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I don't have to stress about it. Now, the only thing we got to stress about is about fucking making the flight. That whole situation was another fake thing. But again, I'm just going to skip right over that because it's a long fucking thing. And my backpack, mind you, has all the passports, has a bunch of important documents from the business transactions that we were making, and a shit ton of cash. And when I mean a shit ton of cash, I mean a shit ton of cash in my bag. Like, it looked like, oh, what the fuck you doing type of shit. It looked like I was smuggling shit too. We're waiting in line to check in with is it the Border Patrol?
Yeah.
Right?
When you're coming back?
TSA? Is it Border Patrol or
Immigration?
TSA?
No.
Immigration.
Yeah, immigration.
We're waiting in line in immigration to get checked back into the States. You know that they have drug sniffing dogs.
For sure.
We're all carrying our baggages and we're waiting to be next in line for the immigration. There's a little bloodhound dog. When I mean little, I mean little. And it sits and it barks right next to my uncle. Right next to my uncle. And my uncle's just looking at me, he's like, get Mira's way. Like, and then the dog's just like looking and then looking at the handler.
Yeah.
And the handler is just like, Señor, ¿es tu maletas? And my tío Juan is just like,
yes.
No. Knows mine. And all of a sudden I'm like, bro, speak English, bro. You're an American citizen now. He's like, no, it's mine. No, it's mine. It's hers. It's hers. What's that, my grandma? What's that, my grandma? Then she's just like, Señora, what do you have in the bag? And my grandma's like, ¿Qué dijo? And my dad is so stressed out. ¿Qué traes en la pinche bolsa? ¿Qué no te dije que no traías nada de allá? And then she's just like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm there standing, and the immigration officer's just like, next. And he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, I'm part of their crew right now. Like, I don't know what to do. And my dad's stressed out, and my uncle's, and the lady yells at my uncle, do not touch the bag. Leave the bag alone. And my uncle's just like, oh, sorry. And she's just like, she grabs the bag and she takes it to an immigration officer. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, all you guys are all together. Go to the separate room.
Oh, he had to get double checked.
I was like, fuck. Man. When it told you, when we look sus, we all look fucking sus. I'm not even going to lie to you. My grandma was just so confused. Why are they taking us out of line? Why are we going to this room?
She said, I'm trying to go home, bro.
And my dad's just like, it's because of you. Because you don't know not to pack. We told you not to pack nothing. Are you sure that you don't have nothing in the bag? If you have something in the bag, right now we're all going to get stamped on our passport. And I think it's you get penalized. It's a penalty on your passport. And then I think you also get another fine.
I don't know about the thing, but
oh no, you get blacklisted. One of the things it's bad.
You get in trouble.
You get in trouble. And my grandma looks at my dad, all innocent. No traigo nada. And my dad's like, ¿Estás segura? No traigo nada. And my uncle's just like standing there. He's just like, hey, like he looks more concerned than like all of us. We're like, look at this.
What'd you bring?
What'd you bring? Like, you know? And then it clicks in my head. I'm like, oh shit. If they find that my grandma got something, and if they find this fucker got something, and they see a bunch of money in cash in my backpack,
you're going to jail.
This is it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is horrible.
So what did your grandma bring?
My grandma brought a bunch of seeds.
What kind of seeds?
Like seeds, like mango seeds, like fucking plants out there, like different kinds of fucking seeds. On top of that, she bought a whole bag, and it's like these chewable, like, I don't know what they are, but they're like a plant that you can chew, and it's like candy. I don't know exactly what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
She brought the whole bag. Not even like just a handful, no. She brought the whole bag.
She's trying to come up.
And then they were like, what is this? They're pulling shit. They're pulling like hella shit. And we're looking at my grandma, we're like, oh my God. And my grandma's just like, no toques eso. Like,
they put my shit down.
Put my shit down. And we're just like, grandma, and the lady's just like, this is very bad for you. Like, you know that you're not supposed to bring anything. And like scolding my grandma and then scolding my dad. My dad starts scolding my tío Juan. I'm there just watching. Like, I'm
you said this is a movie, bro.
This is not happening right now. I was like, I'm not going to jail for these fuckers. Like, this is not happening. Bro. And then they find in my grandma's purse, because they were like, oh no, give me your purse.
Well, she's trying to smuggle seeds, so.
Then they find in her purse this napkin wrapped up like tight. And they unzip it. And it was, I don't know what the fuck what it was, but it's more seeds. And they're like, Señora, this is not okay. You can't bring any of this stuff in. And she was just like, oh, no sabía. I'm like,
did it work?
Bro, no fucking shot. And then my uncle's just like worried, and then his bag goes through, so he's not worried no more. They're checking my backpack, and they look at my laptop. They look at this the bag of fucking money that I got, and they're like, how much money do you got in here? I was like, and I give them an amount, and I was like, it's beneath the legal limit. Or it's beneath the legal limit.
Yeah, because you can only bring like a certain amount in.
Yes.
And you have to claim it.
I have to claim it. And then he was just like, okay, and writes down a little thing on it, and then like wraps it back up for me, and then puts it back in the backpack. And then he's checking every pocket, everything. socks that I got in there, he unravels my socks to make sure
They
that
were really clean.
They were clean.
Hey, bless up.
And then like he just starts doing the most, and I'm like, oh shit. And then he's like, all right, you're good. Gives me my backpack, gives us our things, and then they take away everything that they found from my grandma's bag. And
I bet you that shit was heartbreaking for her.
Oh,
I bet you she was distraught over that.
We're walking away, or we're getting ready to walk away, and the lady's just like, because like I know that this is the first time for you, and you've been taken to the side. I'm gonna cut you some slack, and I'm gonna cut everybody else some slack. But the next time that this happens, you guys are all getting like blacklisted or something like that. It's like, oh my fucking God, bro. There's no fucking way. As we're leaving, my grandma has the audacity of like, ¿Por qué me quitaron las pinches cosas? And I was just like, what the fuck, grandma? And then my dad was just like, it's because you don't pay attention. And he starts going in on this old lady. I'm like, bro, relax. We're free. Like, that's all that matters.
Let's go catch this flight, bro. Let's go catch this flight.
No, we're going to you guys. Remember, you guys were waiting hours.
I do remember that.
You guys were waiting hours for us to get out.
That was rough.
Yeah.
Fun.
So that was the incredible trip.
That was your trip. Beto, do you have any highlights from the last time you went to Mexico?
It wasn't much.
He's like, nothing like that.
Trauma than his.
Yeah.
Mostly like for like the first week, it was just like our cousins. I never got to see the cousin that you were talking about from Puerto Vallarta. I never got to saw her. I only got to saw our other ones. Then we were just there at the house because our cousins were building like a new house. And
they're remodeling
yeah, okay. But we stayed there most of the time. We only stayed at like our tío's house for like 1 day or so. And then we were like, yeah, no, because there was like hella like borrachos in front of like the house. So we were just like, yeah, no, I don't.
You said not our journey.
That's what my dad said. I was like, all right, yeah, no, it's better. We got to see like some of like my dad's like friends, some like family. I remember this one time we went to as soon as we got from Barra de Navidad, we our cousin picked us up, and then we went back to the rancho. But before that, we stopped by to eat, and then we ordered like I ordered like I want to say like tacos. I believe.
Yeah.
Jerry ordered like a burger, and then my dad ordered like his seafood. And then there's this guy that walks up and he's like, do you guys want to get oysters? They're really fresh from the mar.
No way.
And my dad's like, yeah, sure.
Your dad's like, sign me up.
And then our cousin is like encouraging me. He's like, nunca lo probado? And I'm like, no, never. And then my dad's like, here, nomás échalo. I'm like, what?
He said, whoa.
He's like, nomás limón y chile. And I'm like, no. And he's like, nomás échatelo. And I'm like, fine. So I did. For me, I didn't like it.
You gagged. No,
bruh.
Did you throw it out?
Bruh,
no, I didn't. I swallowed it.
Dude, it's the texture. It's the texture for me.
And then my dad, there was like 8. I got 1. My dad ate all 7. And I was the one who got it bad. I got food poisoning next day.
How long were you out for? A day?
A day. Like I was all lightheaded. I couldn't move. So I was
dude, and seafood's like lethal, bro.
Yeah.
And then my dad was able to like walk, and then but like he still had his stomach problem.
Yeah.
I was like, how did you not get affected?
Like you had 7 of them, bro.
And then I posted on my story the first like night that we stayed, and Martin replied to it too because I was laying down and my tío he has his pig.
What? Wait, what? Wait, Beto, what do you mean he has a pig?
He has this pig.
He has this
Wait, what do you
pig.
mean? Like
Like
an
a-
actual pig?
like
Like a
actual
living...
actual
Like oink
a
oink?
hog,
Like an actual pig?
No, like
No, like a hog. Like
Yeah.
a hog.
Okay. He has a
And-
pet?
No.
Well, no, well, cat, yeah.
Well, it
'Cause-
can be. But it wants to
'cause
be.
He had it like small,
Uh-huh.
and then it grew
Yeah.
to like this
Like a normal sized
but-
pig.
yeah. But then last year, like around like this time,
Uh-huh.
lo mataron.
Oh.
And
They
my
raised it
deal was
for-
like very like heartbroken about it.
Well, yeah.
Mm.
But anyways, so I was in the
Rest in
maca.
peace, Mr. Oinkers.
Yeah. I was in the maca
Mhm.
sleeping,
Uh-huh.
and it was like it got to be like 6 a.m. Like the sun didn't even come up.
Yeah.
It was like a little bit like not pitch black, but I hear like the sound, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? and then I just hear like galloping or whatever, and then it just fucking hit me in the head.
Straight headbutt. It's like, who the fuck is there in the head?
He got fucked by a pig, Beto.
He got hog ready.
No way. It just came in and like attacked you.
I jumped up, and I swear I was about to smack the shit out of it too.
Let them jump some swings.
No way.
And then I'm like, what the fuck?
He said, who the fuck
I'm like,
are
is this an
you?
actual pig or something? Like a hog?
Yeah.
And then my grandma wakes up, and she's like, ¿Qué pasó, amigo? And I'm like, pues este pinche puerco. And then she grabbed like a little like rag, and then she was like, sácate.
I get this picture of my grandma just like,
No way.
And then the pig was just like staring down at her. She was just like looking. And then
you in my house.
And they stayed staring for like about like 10 seconds until my grandma like backed away.
Uh-huh. I can't believe you got punked by a pig.
And then there's this one time where my dad was talking to this one of his friends, I believe.
Mm.
And there was this little there was a morro también, like a boy.
Mhm.
A younger guy.
A younger guy. And he was like, you want candy? Like, ¿quieres dulces?
Mhm.
And then my dad's like, oh, sure. And then he grabs them, right? And I grab some too. Out of nowhere, I hear like keys.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm like, what's that? And then my dad's like, oh shit. And then he grabs the keys, and it's from my tío's house.
Huh?
What?
Wait, what? Say it again.
My that kid, I
Yeah.
guess,
Uh-huh.
maybe might have like grabbed, like stole it
Uh-huh.
or whatever.
Still my uncle's key.
My uncle's keys from his house, from the house.
What the and then just came and dropped them off?
No, like I
No,
I heard it,
Oh,
and
you
then
heard the key.
I was like, "Pa, ¿qué es eso?" And then he's like, "Oh shit!" So he grabs it from him, and then the boy's like all apologizing. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry."
He was trying to finesse you, and you guys caught him.
Yeah, and
What
then
the hell?
the guy was all like, "Oh, like I'm so sorry."
All embarrassed.
Well, yeah, you just failed at fucking stealing.
My son just fucking trying to kill you. I'm sorry.
like
What
all
the
like trying to
hell?
play it off and
Yeah.
shit, yeah. But
That's crazy.
yeah, and on our way to Talpa,
Mhm.
Talpa is where my grandma.
where my grandma's original, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like another 3.5 hours away from the rancho.
For you, did you guys go to that new road that they built?
Nah.
Because there's this new road that they built that it takes 3 hours, and then the original one would take 7. So you would go all the way like around the mountains,
Mm.
and then go
We
like,
took the 3.5 hour one, the one that goes around the mountain, going to Puerto Vallarta and these other towns before you get to the main fucking thing that drops into Talpa.
no, because for us we went to Tomatlan, and then we would just like cut straight,
Mm.
and then we would end up like the south of Talpa, and it was much like faster than like
one?
the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But we stayed there for like probably like two days.
Mm-hmm.
we were there, like the first night, like our cousin over there, she was all like, let's go to this, what are they called? Rodeos? What were they called?
Jaripeo.
Jaripeos, there you go. And then I'm like, all right, yeah. I told my dad, like, do you want to go? And then he's like, yeah, sure. Nomás para to have fun. And we stayed there for like, I want to say like 5 to like 11. It was fun. It was like my first like jaripeo that I went to that I remember.
Yeah.
But I remember it like up there, it's really cold. Like as soon as like it's hot, it's humid, of course, but like as soon as it hits like nightfall, then it's like hella cold. Because like up there in those montañas.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and then after that we went back, and that was it.
Yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I feel like you guys have good memories from over there.
Yeah, we always have a shit ton of memories from over there. Like I said, like I have a better time in Mexico than
In Salvador.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll ever go back, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, time will tell.
It's fucking wild. I'll tell you that, especially with like going with like our tío.
Yeah, it just depends on who
goes.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will make it more memorable.
Well, yeah, the people you go with.
Yeah. What are some of the most memorable places that you guys have been? Let us know. Comment. Tell us a story. Tell us your guys' wildest stories.
Yeah. Would you guys go back?
Or which is the place that you guys would never want to go back to? Let us know. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, for sure.
As always, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to follow our Instagram and our TikTok at brokeboys_FF. We appreciate you guys and we love you. Thank you, Alberto, for being here for this episode.
Thank you for inviting me, you guys. It was really fun and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we love talking about our stories, and we love to hear from you guys and to let us know about your guys' wildest stories. We all love you. We all appreciate you guys' time. And continue working out. Continue doing what you're doing. Continue driving. Drive safe. Drive responsibly. And yeah, we appreciate you guys. We love you. Take care. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.